Alright, welcome back. I'm doing another random toy review, fresh hot off of the last one. See if I can get a streak going. And we're looking at another Bionicle set, because I've done Bionicle in the past and I love some Bionicle. And so I am going to do a Bionicle review if I have any on me. What you're looking at here is set number 8623, Krekka. Now, this guy, he was released in 2004 as part of the Matoran Universe line / wave, whatever you want to call it. He was one of 3 Titan sets. The other one, Nidiki, I reviewed a couple years ago, and I will be comparing him to Nidiki in a little bit. But this is Krekka. Now, Krekka and Nidiki, story-wise, were both Dark Hunters, which are basically bounty hunters in Bionicle world. And a little bit of information about Krekka. His species is unknown. There is no term for it in Bionicle lore. It is just Krekka species. However, they are nicknamed bruisers. And this dude here, if you've watched the movie Bionicle 2 Legends of Metru Nui, you'll know that Krekka is a bit of a dimwit. He's very strong, very bulky, very brutish, but not very smart. That's a very common trope in fiction. In fact, it is so common that this dude reminds me very much of Tankor from Transformers Beast Machines. One, if you take this set design here and you compare it to the mainframe CG model for Tankor in the show, you'll see some similarities. But especially if you look at the Miramax CG model for Krekka from the Bionicle 2 movie, that has a very striking resemblance to Tankor. So I'm almost convinced. Lego has never admitted to this. In fact, I might be the only person who sees it. But I'm fairly positive that someone on the design team in 04 was watching Beast Machines and got some inspiration for this character. Because, I mean, the resemblance is too striking for me. But anyway, time to look at Krekka in detail here. Now, this set is kind of controversial in the fandom. It's got some lukewarm reception over the years, but I kind of like it for what it is. Because he's a special type of character, you know? First thing I'm going to do, if I can pan the camera up, is zoom in on that face. Alright, I'm actually adjusting the camera on a tripod here. Now, Krekka is, as you can see, using the Vaki headpiece contraption. However, the big part that goes around it is missing. It is instead replaced by a makeshift jaw made from Lego Technic parts. It does not open and close. I mean, if you have it loose enough, it kind of wiggles around. But it does not open and close, unfortunately, which is a shame. However, I think it does look cool regardless. And right here is his one seeing eye. Now in the movie, he had 2 eyes, but only one of them actually blinked on, implying that he had, I guess, lost vision in one eye during an off-screen battle before the events of the film. I'm guessing now granted the set was made first, obviously, so this is probably more true to canon. But I'm assuming even then too, it's probably explained that he might have lost an eye, or he always, I don't know, I don't really remember or know myself. But I do kind of like the aesthetic because it kind of adds to the dim-wittedness of the character, because he kind of looks like his eye is never facing straight. It's always wanting to lean in the opposite direction. Like if he was going cross-eyed, if he had 2 eyes. We can actually pan down and look at more detailing here. As you can see, there's a lot of gears inside this dude, because he has some functions. This dude is very mechanical looking, but, you know, pretty much all Bionicle sets look mechanical by nature. Or at least G1 sets did before CCBS, but still, I feel like this dude was kind of intentionally made to look very mechanical, maybe even a little rusty. In fact, if you actually pan back up again, you may not be able to catch it right here, but I bought this guy on eBay, and as you can see, there's kind of some dirt on this connector piece where his neck connects. Now, normally, I would want to clean it off. I mean, I tried cleaning it off. I think it's just permanently stained in there because it's an old set. Normally, I might want to get it out or anything, or for some people, it might ruin it. For me, I think it adds to the character of this guy as this super rusty tank of a character. Like, this is the kind of character who, as he's walking around, I imagine every, like, screw and bolt, like, squeaking and grinding as he moves his limbs. He just looks that type. In fact, you can look at his legs here. There's so much construction going on in his legs, it's insane. No, don't knock that out. Right here is the, I didn't go over this when I reviewed Nadiki, because I don't think he used this piece, but this is the, this was the brand new limb piece for the, Toa Metru that came out that same year. It's in navy blue here. In fact, I'm pretty sure, the Toa Metru no Kama actually has the same exact shade. So what do you know? That's pretty cool. In fact, he's also using the arm as well. He's also using the brand new foot piece for the Toa Metru, but it's in silver. It's not on his foot. It's really as an armor. Same thing up here, the shoulder. And then his actual feet is a whole contraption of, like, pieces put together. His legs are very weird. Move his arms out of the way. Because the way his ankles are, they're kind of oddly shaped. Posing him can be a bit tricky. And also the ball sockets on mine are a little loose. And he can be top heavy, but I think he holds his weight because his feet are massive. I mean, that is a big foot right there. Lots of space. I guess I'll go over articulation real quick. So we'll start from the bottom up. There's 3 in the legs. So we got ball jointed, and of course it's Lego Bionicle, so pretty much everything is ball jointed. Ball hips, good range of motion in the knee, and then you got your ankle. No waist, only 2 in each arm, but we'll get to the arms in a minute. And the head is on a ball joint, or the neck is, but there's kind of a second one, and it involves the gimmick, which we'll get to in a minute. But for now, let's look at the arms. Now, for all the stuff I said about the legs being complex, the arms are kind of simplistic, and a lot of people over the years have criticized the arms. I guess I'll look at this one here. As you can see, it's only 3 pieces. The big staff part, this connector, and then the limb. A lot of people, and even this one looks really stubby right there, a lot of people over the years have falsely claimed, or at least believe that he has no elbows. Now this is, he'd fall over. See, he doesn't stand perfectly, you know? Now, this is not really true. He does have an elbow. He doesn't have any wrists. A lot of people believe that, or at least they falsely believe, that he's holding these staffs in his hand, and that these little nubs here are his hands. Like, for example, like if I were to take it out, like that would be his full arm. That's not the case. This nub here is the elbow, And like this right here, this part of the staff, which is actually a Rakshi staff piece. This is his hand right here. So right now he's holding his elbow at a 90-degree bend. So this is the elbow. It looks very weird, and I don't blame anyone for not seeing it the first time. Especially on this arm right here is just so stubby. It does look very awkward. The other arm, again, he's asymmetrical. The other arm, I think, pulls off a little better, because this is a much wider piece. This is, I believe, one of the pieces the Vaki used. One of their staff pieces. And this one has way more range, because it can go all around like that. You know, whereas this one can only go back and forth. In fact, it can't even go, like, that's as far forward as it goes. Because it just bumps into it. So this arm, so his left arm really got the short end of the stick. It was the right arm that fared a little better, albeit not perfectly. See if I can, yeah, like that, you know? So this one does a little better. But still, it's not great. It's maybe not how I would have done it. But yeah, I guess that is a point of contention with Krekka here. But now that I went over pretty much all the articulation in the limbs, why don't I go over his two main gimmicks? Alright, so he has two. One, the first one is probably admittedly kind of stupid. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So, as you can see all these gears back here? See how this kind of wobbles? There is a piece right here. How it works is you rotate it, and yeah, it moves his torso or his chest, so we can look back and forth. That one, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because he already has a ball jointed neck. So I'm a little confused on that one. It doesn't ruin the figure, but I mean, it's just like, okay, why does he need to do that? Why does he need to do that? Anyway, the other one's actually way better. So, as you can see, he's got a disc launcher, just like Nadiki did. You pull this down here. I'll flip it around. That way it's on camera. And voila! He's gonna fire at you. That's way better, in my opinion. In fact, let us zoom in, shall we? Back at the head region. He actually, if you look at it more closely, you can kind of see he has a bit of a second eye. So that two-eye aesthetic kind of kicks back in. If you squint your eyes hard enough, you can maybe see him having two eyes, but it's pretty difficult. They're very wide apart. And of course, he's using a Kanoka disc, and this is the piece that was used on the Matoran for that year. In fact, I can actually zoom back out, and I will be firing it. Let's see. Hold on now. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Let's see. I actually like displaying them with the disc launcher facing upward. Anyway, or facing forward, I should say. I'm gonna launch it down. It's really surprisingly, for a 21-year-old figure, it goes hard. That actually launches pretty far. Now I believe, focus. Hold on. Can I actually rotate this so that it? There we go. Yeah, this does, I think, glow in the dark. I don't know. As you can see, the number was 338, which was unique to Krekka. No other set had that number. And this is I believe this is the Po Metro. logo. It's brown, so I'm getting, yeah, it's Pometru, which is weird because I mean Krekka is not, he's not an elemental character. He's not associated with an element, but he is blue. So the closest would be water, which makes you believe why they didn't use Gametru. They went with Pometru. I'm not quite sure why. It's the same thing with Nidiki. He's green, so you think he'd be Leimetru, but he's actually, I think he's actually Kometru? No, he's Onumetru. He's black. So, that's a bit weird. In fact, speaking of Nidiki, I'll go ahead and compare the two. Right. There we go. Go on, get on camera, both of you beautiful children of mine. There we go. Two iconic bounty hunters posing for a photo. You'll love to see it, folks. No, you'll love to see it. Now, one last thing. Nidiki had a flying mode where he could fold up his legs and he could fly, and he did that in the lore. He did that in the movie. Krekka does not come advertise this, but if you, but in the movie, Krekka does also fold his legs forward and like levitate, fly. Now, obviously, the set never intended for this. I'm pretty sure the movie makers kind of made that up for him, but you can kind of replicate it. I'm going to try my best to here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of put him in a crisscross applesauce pose. So I'm trying to think what he... It's been a while since I watched the movie. But yeah, he did this. And then you kind of sit like this, like he's like a monk meditating. And, well, there you go. That's him flying. I mean, he did it in the movie, so you can do it with the figure as well. Anyway, I pretty much said everything there is to say about Krekka. I personally like the guy. I don't know about you, but I like the guy myself. Is he perfect? No. He has some flaws, and I don't know if he's better than Nidiki. He technically has more articulation than Nidiki, because Nidiki couldn't really do anything with his legs. But I think he's a very he's full of personality. And there, if I have one criticism of Bionicle, is that with the kind of robotic and mechanical nature of it, it was really hard to get figures to look like they have personality or relatable, or make them look relatable. This dude has such a unique build that he is just loaded with personality, and I love him for it.